Hey Vic, you okay?
Hi, Rich. Yeah, I'm
So
alright.
a few days after TutorFest 2026, which just feels, I feel shattered, but the day itself was just incredible, wasn't it?
I, yeah, I can't, I'm still like a bit, oh, I can't believe that actually happened again.
So like last year, we spent some time after the event the next day, so not in the evening because we didn't get home till late, but just like debriefing and saying like what would we change, what did we really enjoy, and like really from I think the major points, wasn't it? We looked at speakers, like the different sections, just the little transition points of the day. And then we was chatting yesterday and we were sort of saying, well, what did we really take away from it? And we always take away like meeting new people, connections, stories, and those kind of things. But it's those smaller details that like make it special.
It's so special, yeah. I don't know what it is, but there's like little things that you think, just how can that be? It's like crazy little, like, what? Whoa. Like these little mind blowing bits that have just been, yeah, just so special. It feels really magical.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know there were lots of conversations? So we met some people the night before. We took Dan Meredith out for dinner, so that was first, and then we met some people in like the meet up bar. And met people for the first time, seen people again since last year, and just having a good old catch up. And then we got some messages, didn't we? Like this happened last year as well, where people were on the day like, "I want to come. Are there tickets?" And we're always like, "Well, look, there are certain things we can do, like certain things we can't. So we could definitely get a ticket if there's space, obviously. But there are things like it creates a can create a logistical nightmare if, like, I don't know, perhaps they need accessibility arrangements or they have got quite severe dietary requirements, which is really hard to arrange super last minute. But and I didn't know this because I didn't know until afterwards because you told me that we sold our first ever ticket via someone finding us using AI.
Yeah. This is such a crazy story, and I'm still like blown away by it. So basically, I got an email at, I'm going to say like 9:30, something like that. On this is a Thursday night. So it's the night before TutorFest. And I didn't even see it until we got in, which was probably like more like half 10, 11.
Yeah.
So I see it and I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody is like saying that they have just found out about Duty Fest and they want to get a ticket. So by the time I email them back, it's like probably after 11. And so I'm like, okay, fine, I can squeeze you in here quick, get in. And they got their ticket, booked their train, and came up to Blackpool the next day from Nottingham, which is, a reasonable distance. So it's not like they were
Mm.
just round the corner. And then when I spoke to him on the day, and he said, yeah, I can't believe it. It just feels like it was so like fate that it happened because he was just sat in his living room on his laptop thinking about like, oh, there must be something I could go to like meet all the tutors. And he asked Gemini that question basically, and then we came up and it said, why don't you go to TutorFest? And
Mm.
it's the 10th of July. And then he was like, oh, hang on, that's tomorrow. But he just thought, oh, sod it, I'll just get in touch and see, is that possible?
Yeah.
um and obviously then he was just there the next day, so it's just like, wow, in less than 12 hours
Mm.
somebody saw it, booked it, and was there. It reminds me of that Peter Kay thing there.
What?
Packed it off.
Yeah, I think that stuff's amazing. I was telling my eldest daughter about it because she's very much like that. And of course, a lot of people are in that generation, kind of quite anti AI. And I was going, but in like some uses, it's not all about like creating tons of code and doing all these crazy things. Sometimes it's just about using it as a search engine that connects you with
Mm,
something that is really powerful, which I
yeah.
think is really cool. We just say it was cool. She's still like anti AI. So I think it's such a cool story, and also I think that we've like that's that complete accident. We've not looked at how our content could be picked up by AI at all. It's just been like, let's just talk about it, be visible. We're very lucky that we have got a platform like the Facebook group where we can
Mm,
advertise into, and the email list. So we don't necessarily really think about those things because it's not something that has to be top priority.
mm.
But clearly something's working, so it's really great.
I know, and it's made me go like, oh wow, well, what what else can we do? Because there are clearly people out there who need this and want it, and they just don't know we exist. So it's like, how do we get those people to go, oh my god, there's something called TutorFest and there's something called Tutor Thrive, um, yeah, and sort of like open, their world up to us.
So all of that is quite positive and people finding us on and amazing. I think on the day there were a couple of the moments which I don't think it was shared with everybody because there were either moments that we see because people come and talk to us and they share their stories, and they're quite emotional ones. You know, we know a lot of the tuition industry is rooted with an emotional kind of leaving for the teaching profession into tuition and being a business owner. But and these two stories are still emotional. One is kind of attached to that, but it's the podcast, and the other one was about the ballroom,
Yeah,
and which was just like moments when you're like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna like burst out crying in a second. So we met someone in the pub on the Thursday evening after dinner. He came up and said hello. Was having a conversation. We was just talking. He said he found out about Tutors Who Thrive via the podcast, which I always find strange because I think the route into the podcast is you find the Facebook group. I
yeah,
advertise the podcast and people go and listen to it, whereas it was the other way around for him, and which is amazing. So that conversation, and
yeah,
then on the final night after Tutor Fest had finished, we're back in the pub, sort of doing the bit of a social, like dead on my feet. By the way, like my
yeah.
feet were killing me, and my legs were just
You
ready.
didn't have heels on all day, Richard.
Totally dead. Yeah, me too. And towards the end, he was like, "Look, Rich, actually, I want to say this again. Look, I was in this really dark space. It was, and he took me through like the evening. I was doing this and then this, and I was like, there must be a better way. And he started searching for something online. I think via Spotify. And he found the podcast, and he was like, look, that was like the thing. That was the moment. I was like, wow. And I do find those things really emotional
Yeah, it
because
makes me emotional.
you don't realize, and anybody who creates content, this is for anybody who creates content, you just don't know what impact you're making. You think you're just sharing the tip, you just think you're just turning up, and like I genuinely think I do plan out my podcast, but if you spend any time with me, you kind of know that my brain goes all over, and I start recording, I just say what comes into my mind. And there's times when I record stuff and I go, oh, I don't know whether that I didn't hit the right message there, and at times when I've just didn't want to do the podcast because I don't know, like you just fall in and out of love with stuff like that, particularly when it's something that gets put out there and there's no immediate feedback. So sometimes you just don't know whether it's working or how it's being received. So many times I've gone through that over the last 2 years. I've gone, I don't think I'm going to do it anymore. Something keeps putting me back in, it's when you have conversations like that, you go, oh, that's why. That's what it is. That's what it's for. And so if there are people out there creating content, which in whichever form, it could be like videos for social media, it might be podcasting, it might be videos on YouTube. Just know that it is reaching people, even if it is like for me, like reaching that one person, that makes like 2 years worth of podcasting, even if it didn't land anybody, that makes it worthwhile.
No, I know. It's like those sorts of little things where it's you're making a difference, you're making an impact, and that's really special. I think what got me was we looked at the postcards, didn't we, on Saturday morning?
Yeah, that was
Oh my god, what was I like?
so powerful, but also I'm gonna tie this into something else, which is the ballroom,
Yeah, okay.
because there's something about the ballroom in Blackpool, and we've said this a few times, Saturday, Sunday, like I don't think I have the words to describe what it was like on Friday. I just don't. There's something about like you just had to be there. You just had to be there. I can't say it any other way. But you walk into the ballroom, and I'd run down before everybody else, like literally just. And my brother had got there, so my brother takes the photos, and my brother was speechless with it because you walk in and it's quite a small space, but yet massive at the same time. There's something about and there's something about physical things taking on atmosphere and emotions that you get a feel for. So you walk in, it is an amazing building. Obviously, the architecture and everything else is stunning, but it has an aura about it. So my brother got completely obsessed. Like he's taken so many photos of it. But I was able to watch people's faces as they came in, and it was just no.
That's really special. It's like kids at Christmas, you know, that face.
Those postcards are the same.
Yeah.
You can feel people attaching something to that postcard. And when we were reading them, but I hadn't read them, you started to, oh my God, I've got to put them down. I can't read them anymore. Yes, this is great.
Yeah.
And then I went through and I was like, wow, like it's just, there's something about that. So there's a very tangible feeling attached to it that it just kind of just releases from the words that are written on it. And yeah, there was something about that was quite magical. That
It, I honestly think the word magic works. It's like those postcards, some of them, like, are really just made us smile because they were like, yes, you're really going to go for it. It's really practical kind of ones. And there were some that were just so emotional. I think the one that really got me, and then that's when I had to put them down for a minute, was someone had said, "You've already been so brave." It's going to get me again. Like, um, and then they were sort of going like, "What's next?" And I just really felt that you've already been so brave bit, and I was like, "Yes, that is it. When you have and you've taken the leap and you've gone for it, and it is scary, and it's you feel like you've got that hope it's going to work out and you're going to do it. It's really really special."
so that was all in tears on Saturday with those. And then going back to the ballroom and special moments. There was Hannah who got up and was ballroom
Yeah,
dancing. She found a partner straight away, which I just thought brilliant.
yeah.
Also, when she asked me to dance, and you were like, "No, not until he's dance with me,"
I know.
which was cool.
I think I
And then
scared her.
scared me. And then so we were sat next to Elsa, who was quite like emotional with the ballroom. Her mum was a ballroom dancer, and she really wanted to get up on the floor, and she went around. She went around and asked people, and she's like, "People are up for being like partners with you," and she sort of waited. And then someone come up and got her, and she got to dance, and she was just so I
Oh, it
don't know.
was just
Again, like
beautiful. It was so beautiful. Like that as well got me because
yeah, and me.
before that, before she got up to dance, she just turned and she had tears in her eyes and she just went, "My mum would have loved this," and that was just like, oh my god.
There was because I didn't realise you said you did know. Like I think I'd missed it or perhaps just forgotten. I didn't know there was going to be what do they call that organ?
The Wurlitzer.
Right, so there was a live Wurlitzer player in the room. So there was live music. There were actual ballroom dances, not just like me and you absolutely butchering any dance going on, getting in everybody's way, nearly falling over. But that happening with real ballroom dancers while we were having tea, and we were able to join in, and it was just a weird match. So none of this is to do with tuition business at all. It's all about, I think, just the way, I don't know, the feeling that came with it, and I just think that was just one quite
So
strange, but added something to the day that I just didn't expect.
that's the thing. I honestly believe though, like on paper, you would go, well, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
Because what's that adding to anyone's business or the day or whatever? But it does because, and I feel like this is really almost at the heart of what we set out to do with TutorFest. With
Mm,
it creates a shared experience, and that the magic of that shared experience won't leave those people who were there.
mm.
And they were all there together, and like the connections that are made, the friendships that are built, you know, that is what lasts way after the day itself.
Yeah, I agree, and it's in those moments where that stuff happens, and I go back to the pre kind of meetup, and then the evening meetup that we did in a bar. Was it Intro we went to? Where you're just sat for an hour, and I kind of guess, because I know when I've been to these events, like how tired I am at the end of the day, because you do put a lot of effort in. You know, as an attendee, you are listening, you're
Yeah,
staying
it's
attentive,
tiring.
and and I think everybody has a social battery, and usually by the time I get to the end of the day or 6, 7 o'clock, I'm like, I just need to go. And that's generally my process. Is I attend, usually join in a little bit after, but I need to go and just process everything. So many people come back and sit at the pub and just chat about the day and other stuff, and like make connections that just continue to grow like year on year. And I think again that the stuff around the day makes, I just add something different. It just
I
adds something
agree. And I would
enhanced.
definitely say that to anyone who's coming is make time for that as well. If you can, make time to come to the before and after bits as well, because
Yeah.
they are really, even though they're an add-on, they are really part of the experience, aren't they? And I think the the only thing that I'm always like, oh, because if I just didn't get to have like a proper conversation with everybody, which I know is really unrealistic because I can't have like a meaningful chat with 100 people, but that is the only thing that like I think like, oh, I wish we just had more time to talk to people.
You are really good at that. You do tend to sort of really float around the room and get into the conversations. I think you are really good at that.
I do try, I do try, but yeah, I
Yeah,
just think,
yeah, I see it, and I know other people see it too. Um, about the actual day, though, I mean,
oh, excellent, yes.
yeah,
Even if I
getting
do
into
say
like,
so ourselves.
well, getting into like the major parts of the day, like Dan Meredith just was.
I think he blew everyone's socks off.
We knew that though, didn't we? Like
Yeah.
I was ready. We there was a little bit of maybe a little bit of a worry that, oh, it might be a bit Marmite.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Um, we were like, oh, is he going to be Marmite? He's very much like a, are you going to love him or hate him?
Yeah,
But that turned out to just not be the case. I haven't heard anyone who said, oh, no, I didn't like his style. Or,
yeah.
everyone I spoke to was like, oh my God, he was amazing.
And before, because we went out for dinner the night before, but you got locked in the tower, which is a story for another time. So you was a little you was a little bit late. So I had about 10 minutes with him before you came, and we had a bit of a catch up and a bit of an overview of everything. And he was like, "Look, do you want me to tone it down? I can." And I was like, "No, I really don't. Like we
Yeah.
wanted you here on the basis of what we saw and the way that you showed up, and I don't want to hold anything back. I want to turn the dial up. That's the energy that we want, and that's what we got. And I think that's what really hit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just loved it. And I thought actually what it was a really great start to the day, like a big punch in the face, kind of
Yeah.
like,
God.
let's go. Like,
We
uh,
we had a little bit of a setback in the week because one of our main speakers was like, I can't come,
I know.
which was like, yeah, and after we got over the, well, I say we, after I got over the initial panic, we came up with a decent solution, and it probably wasn't the same as having like it was Lisa Johnson, like Lisa Johnson in the room, but that form. So we recorded the fireside chat instead on well this, like just like this, and then played it, which would never have been a format that I would have gone for otherwise.
No, same. Yeah.
But everybody's been like, that format worked, the video worked. Now that opens up the whole world. Like
Yeah, literally.
what could we do with that? Now that worked really well, and it might be that it just stays the same. But there's so many different things you could do with that. I still would like TutorFest to be that in-person experience, but it does add something into the mix where if the right speaker was there and they couldn't come, but we really wanted their information, the value, and it was a good fit, then why not?
Yeah, yeah. No, and we are also, well, we can go on to that in a minute, but like looking at other options and
Yeah,
virtual
yeah,
ticket and things. But
yeah, that's true.
I think with that, yes, it was like a oh my god initially. But do you know what I think came out of that was like everything that you just said, I agree with. But also, I think the way that we handled it and just had to go, well, we just got to make the best of it,
Mm,
to me felt like we did really well with that. And
yeah,
like, I just think it just goes to show because I was like, didn't even cry, Um,
he did
so
say that.
there was no, it just, right, well, let's get on with it. How do we fix it? How do we make the best of it? And I
Mm,
think that's what we did.
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
So yeah, it was.
yeah. And then we had our talk, which was great. I always love to share things like that. It was good to do that together. We have presented the talk together before,
Yeah,
but TutorFest was our first time, and I thought it went
yeah,
really well. I was really happy with that.
yeah, yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Except for some of the photos that you decided to share,
No,
but
yeah. Well, if you leave that job to me, that's what's going to happen.
taking those horrible angle
I
photos.
didn't put the close-ups in, so you, which
For context, if you're listening, Richard's got loads of photos on his phone that's like just my nose or
right
just
in,
my teeth all zoomed in
showing
on.
off the amazing camera on my phone. Yeah, so they didn't make it, but that was good fun, and the feedback on that has been like that usual like bit of fun, bit of business, some good takeaways from that. Then we head into the afternoon. There was a little bit of a aircon disaster after lunch. So the
Yeah,
aircon completely broke. I mean, I can't fault the Blackpool Tower staff; they were just brilliant with it, and
yeah, they were
they,
really like beavering away trying to get it sorted quickly.
yeah, but it did take about an hour, which meant like the people who were talking for that little bit after lunch, it was hard work, like because
It
the
was
room got
hot.
really warm, and even though the aircon was being worked on, it took about an hour for it to really work. They ended up chucking in some portable aircon units, which just changed. It just worked instantly, and then it was kind of just back to normal again. So we had Sophie Hughes, who was talking about her kind of start intuition, which was really amazing.
Yeah.
Really good
Well,
feedback
this
for
is
her.
like a tradition that we want to keep
Yeah,
is so I think we're going to go with the seat to stage
yeah,
speaker.
yeah.
So we want to create this tradition that someone from who was sat watching last year is now on the stage this year
We've
sharing
had
their
offers
story.
already on that.
We've had a
It's
few
good.
offers
People
already.
people are chomping at the bit to get on stage, so that's really positive
Really,
news. We
yeah,
like
really
this.
encouraging. So yeah, I'm excited to find next year's seat to stage speaker.
And we also had Charlotte Bailey, who was talking about people pleasing, and some really powerful messages there. I was really like the idea of like how you break that cycle, the power of the pause. like not
Yes.
jumping to saying yes, because that's our default, for lots of people, a default
Default.
position.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
delaying it a bit, and that was something that came out in the after party as well, because I was chatting to somebody about possibly running the workshop, which we are definitely going to do, and that came up again, and it was that I'm not sure. I was like, you can say no. That is channel what we learned today from Charlotte, and it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, you're right. No, the answer is no, which I thought was really good.
Somebody, oh, what was, there was a message anyway from somebody, and there was like some sort of mistake. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. And then she messaged me back saying, like, don't worry, there's no need to keep apologizing, remember? Like,
Uh,
so yeah, I was like, oh, yeah.
yeah, that's good.
And I think that Charlotte also did a really lovely, real, like really apt spoken word, like poetry,
Oh, she did. Yeah, yeah,
which was really good. And I have asked her if she could share just that on its own with us, because
yeah.
I'd love to even just share that actually, like wider,
Mm.
because it was just really, I thought it was powerful. And I think it would be nice, like to be able to like see those words again.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, they're really powerful. We had the panel,
Yeah, enjoyed doing that.
really good form. I thought the panel was brilliant. I thought it was great, really good. I felt it was really balanced between, like, so we had two of the sponsors on. So we had 11 plus exams
Yes,
and beyond
industry. Yeah,
on Cruncher. So sort of the techie side of stuff, as well as Hannah, who can talk about home ed, franchising, although she's I'm at the early stages of franchising, but she understands that process.
yeah.
And then Olivia and
Tash.
Tash, yeah, talking about, well, all sorts, really, home ed and neurodiversity. I thought that was really good. That worked really well. I like the interactivity part of that, and I think that's something that's come up in the feedback. Is like, oh, how do we make it more interactive? And I really want to really be keen to explore how we can, like throughout the
Yeah.
whole day, how can we get people moving about? I think there's a couple of things which I'm not up for. Like, for example, like having like two stages or three stages. I want it to be like a shared experience, I think, because that's where the magic happens in that way. However, I'm not opposed to like looking at how we can facilitate like maybe a breakout parts, or do you know what I mean? Those kind of things where you can sign up to maybe have like a smaller group. I don't know, really loads of things there to think about, really.
There is, and this is why, like, I really love getting the feedback from people and hearing anyone's ideas. And yeah, sometimes people are going to tell us an idea and we go, oh yeah, that's not for us.
Mm,
Um, but it's really interesting. And even if it's something where it's like, maybe that doesn't work for TutorFest, but it could be something else that we might do. Like
yeah, yes.
you've given us really good food for thought. But I also agree that I like the intimacy that is created by it being a smaller event. We don't have like, different, I don't know how many options there are at some of the other like events that we've been to.
Yeah.
And sometimes I find that overwhelming anyway, that you have to choose. And I'm like, oh, but I want to go to both of those.
Mm,
Um, but I think it does create that sense of like, it's an intimate, warm sort of day, and
yeah.
you kind of spend it together.
Mm. I think there's something in there around the moving around, which
I do get that, yeah, because I'm terrible for it myself. Um,
yeah,
and we do think about that when I think we also actually did have to switch things around a little bit in the afternoon for timing, because we would have been able to break things up a bit more.
yeah.
But we had to switch late, didn't we?
Yeah, and loads of ideas coming into my head around that whole like movement around, because I think that's the other part of the other feedback was that, do you know what, it ends up being quite a long day, and you tend to, wherever you sit for the first part of the day, you never move, because we're all creatures of habits. We get
Yeah,
time.
I agree with that. I do
How do
have
you do that?
ideas
So
around
that's
that.
definitely something I want to think about.
some sort of speed dating type
Yeah,
activity
something.
or
Yeah, and there were some really good ideas. People were saying like some of it would be really easy, where you can
yeah.
just go, right, what we're going to do now is we're going to have all the people from the west or the northwest over here, and all the people, yeah, and all the people from the northeast over here, and all the people, and so you
Yeah,
can just
which
kind of
actually we did last time,
we did do that last time, yeah.
and then we just forgot this time.
So something like that, where you just get up and move around, even if it is just for 2 or 3 minutes, you might go and sit down somewhere different, or just something like that. Be interesting. Anyway, but I really am taking that on board, because I know what that's like when you are sat down. I
Agree.
mean, I'm terrible. I even doing this now, we've been sat chatting to you for half an hour. I'm like, I feel like I need to get up and move.
Yeah, you are the worst, actually.
So yeah, we love the feedback. I think the feedback can also be like, what one person wants, the other person will say something different, and it can
Of
be quite hard
course.
to listen to everything and go, right, what can this actually look like? But it's always interesting, and it never falls on deaf ears, because there's always something you can take away and think, how can you tweak? Or it becomes a new idea further down the road. Yeah. And then we
Yeah.
ended with Lee, like Mr. P.
Yeah. And oh, well, we knew that he was going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he was just, I mean, so, the variety as well of like what he spoke about, it was just constantly interesting because he was obviously talking about and gave us some actually quite harrowing stats around like kids and screen time. Because I think one of the things that he gets like a bit of backlash for is like, oh, kids shouldn't be on screens. And his argument there was it's purposeful screen time. It's not doom scroll screen time where they're just being like
Yeah.
fed crap
Social
from
media stuff.
YouTube Shorts or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was great, and I think I just looked around and saw people just like struggling to keep up with the scribbling away, like tons of notes, and he gave us loads of like really proper here do that, like here's a great tool, a website, or and so many ideas, which I'm already obsessed with as well.
I love to hear that, like the opener was basically like, look, not all screen time is the same.
Yeah.
We label or bundle all screen time in together, and actually that's not true. And then he really gave us the context around that, which I thought was really powerful. I mean, look, it's something that we're all worried about. It's something which we can all see is
Yeah.
can be a detrimental effect on everybody's mental health, not just children's whose brains still aren't forming, that haven't formed yet. So there's that kind of like addressing that worry really, and finding a positive way forward. Because my worry with all of that, I'm going to go slightly off at a tangent, is that that's the environment where our children are heading. It's going to be a lot of their life's going to be through their phone, iPad, tablet, laptop. How do we give them the required skills and the necessary boundaries around that help them understand this is how you can engage with it in a positive way, and not a negative way? And I think a blank ban probably is the right move right now, but I don't know whether that really solves the problem.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard, and I think it's going to be really hard for the in between kids over the next like few years to try and find a new way of coping with that, because
Yeah,
we have become very used to and probably very addicted to this the phone use and the social media and stuff. But yeah, like you say, it's you do want to recognize like the endless possibilities that have become available because of screens and the internet and all that stuff. There are loads of positives there. That whole thing around like it's never been easier to learn anything.
yeah,
You know, everything you could ever want to know is there for you
yeah,
if
agreed.
you know where to look and if you're, you know, using it with some sense of purpose.
Mm.
And then obviously we got our amazing new number one hit.
I know, which is insane, isn't it? Yeah,
I
I like
can't stop singing it.
from such a small prompt, we got this crazy 90s garage hit all about TutorFest 2026, which is just an absolute banger.
It was
Have you put it out
amazing.
yet?
I've been waiting for you, Richard.
Oh,
You've been telling
sorry.
me
I
to
know because
keep hold of
I've been
it.
busy all morning, so it's been one of those.
I spent ages trying to get it uploaded, and I thought I'd done it, and it was so sad because I shared a playlist and I thought it was on it, but then I had a couple of emails back saying like it doesn't work. I was like, no. Um, so what I've done instead is painstakingly just made it into a reel for Instagram, or it'll be on Facebook as well, but so that you can see the lyrics as well. So the words are on the screen too. And I genuinely am like, this is not real. Like, how? So it was a very simple prompt, like you just said. And then some of the words that are in this song, it's like so fitting and so exactly what everything like we stand for and everything that we're about. And I'm like, how did it know? How did it come up with that lyric without knowing anything about us? Like,
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? Like, yeah,
really weird. So it's either just like pure magic, which is what I'm going to go with, or it's because it's got so much information because of all the chat GPT conversations I've had about TutorFest that it knows, like the internet knows. Yeah, but that was just so incredible. And I'm just going to say, I've never been more proud of myself for shouting out because Lee just said, what do you think we should do a song about? And obviously I shouted out, Cheerfest. And then I was like, what a reward for being the blabbermouth who always shouts out.
didn't even put your hand up. Just
No,
call it out.
it was that no one else is getting a chance because I'm in it. So, and yeah, I was like, oh my God, imagine, I mean, not that it would be boring, but imagine someone had got there first with like fractions.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have this amazing gift from AI, this beautiful song
Well,
that's
you
going to
need to
last
post
forever.
that so people can hear it, watch it.
Well, I'd love to,
Yeah,
Richard.
let's get that done. Just get it out there. So I've got to go out in a minute. So you're just in control of everything now.
Oh, thank God.
For the rest of the day, I'm passing it over to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else? What else can we add to this? We should really
What
add
have we
that.
forgotten about?
There are probably loads, but we should
Make
probably
note.
add that the tickets are now on sale for 2027.
Oh, yeah, that's
Back in
boring.
London,
You'll see that.
at a place in Aldgate. Nice event, well, amazing event space.
Beautiful event space.
So
Oh,
we are back down the south for 2027 with a new date. It is in February, so it is very soon actually. For the way that we organise it, that's like round the corner now.
I'm a bit like, oh crap. But this is off the back of, again, us kind of canvassing for opinion
Yeah.
because
When do people want it? We put
we
a
want
poll
it.
in the group.
Yeah, we had this conversation. We've been having this conversation a lot over the past few months, I would say, about what's helpful, what's not, how do we make it as accessible as we can. So there's a few changes really that because we've taken it on board from the community, that so moving it to February, it's actually for most people the Friday of half term. We and then we're also having like a virtual option as well.
Yeah.
So
We're really trying to make sure it's accessible as possible. I'm like, my whole thing was like, I really want people in the room, but I understand that it's just for some people who just can't, but they really want to be a part of it.
exactly, like some of the people we heard from this year who said, "Oh, I can't come," because it wasn't because it was like so we know the people who we go, well, you're never going to come because unless we rock up in your street,
Yeah.
you're not going to come. So we know that there are those people out there. But then we had, people saying, I'd love to come, but I had a baby a month ago and I'm breastfeeding. Or, and it's like, how do we open up to those people who have got, there's another reason why it's not just that it's not an excuse, it's a reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. That's it, but they've made that really easy.
Oh, it's
The virtual.
brilliant. I think that's
Yeah,
what filled us the space, really, isn't it? Because,
yeah. I mean, the space is really like amazing, and we'll have a great day there, regardless. But they just had everything set up. So when they was like, "Oh yeah, we have a virtual option," and they showed us the videos, I was like, "God, yeah, this is perfect."
yeah,
So much so
we're
that you can,
I think we've been very worried about doing that before because, I mean, I certainly, and I know you're the same, like, if the quality's poor,
yeah.
no way. Like,
Yeah.
we can't, we can't put our name to something that's crappy.
Yeah, and it is what it does do, which is something which maybe we weren't ready for. Well, I say definitely wasn't ready for in the first two. Is it gives us something else to manage? There's something else to do because you still need to make sure the people in the space who are actually there have an amazing day, but you also want to make sure people online have an amazing day. So it's another same event, but
Yeah,
you've got to deal with the people online to make sure they get as much out of it as they
yeah.
can. And so there's it adds something to it. But I mean, I wouldn't say we're veterans now, but we've got two under our belts, and I think it's time. I mean, even on the way out of Blackpool, we had a quick conversation with the AV guy and said, we're in London, we're going to do virtual. If we were to come back to Blackpool, what would the options be?
Yeah,
And that seems doable as well. So
yeah.
hopefully it becomes just a part and parcel part of what TutorFest is.
Yeah, I think it would be great. Speaking of the AV guy,
Yeah.
that was another like wow little moment because so he spent all day up in the AV box, well, and running up and down, like sorting out the mics and
He
everything.
was
But
so quick.
he was brilliant. Like, what a great service. But he obviously spent all day listening to everything. And then at the end of the day, when he was packing up and taking everything down, he was like, so I'm thinking after I've listened to you today, like maybe I could set up a tuition business. And I was like, what? And then it turned out, so basically his story in a nutshell is he's moving to California um, and getting married. And he was like, oh, well, by the way, but I have a degree in astrophysics.
Oh, PhD, he's a
Oh,
doctor.
sorry, yeah, PhD in astrophysics. Do you think I could teach GCSE science? Like, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, yeah, that was
Yeah,
really funny.
inspiring the people, the
And
support
he's taught
staff.
as well, hasn't he,
Yeah,
before? So, yeah, I thought that was like just,
absolutely perfect. Yeah,
again, like
that's
a
good.
little wow.
Okay, look, let's wrap it up there. So people want to get involved in 2027. We'll leave the links. I'll probably upload this as a podcast on Spotify. We'll put it on YouTube. We'll chuck it in the Facebook group. We'll get all the links out. February the 19th. We've already sold. So let's be really clear, right? We've got 100 tickets to sell. We've already sold close to 40.
Yeah, I am actually like, oh wow, that they're going really fast.
That's in person.
Those are the in person. They're
Yeah.
obviously, there's still virtual ones there as well. There's
So
a
if you want to come and be in the room,
few of those gone.
I think those tickets are gonna go, and the early bird prices from now until the end of October, they're £149.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well done, Rich.
Okay. We'll get all the links out so people can see them. There'll be emails, there'll be posts on social media. We'll talk about it lots in the podcast, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done.
Brilliant.
Until
Exciting.
next time.
Now we get busy again.
Yeah. All right. See you soon, everyone.